Hello, sisters, and welcome to part 3 of Financially Managing the Workplace. And I am here with our sister, Crystal Payne, our National Marketing Coordinator, and she is here to join me for this discussion. Welcome, Crystal.
Thanks, Tasha. Hi, sisters, once again.
Yes. So today, our tips are going to be especially helpful for our sisters who are maybe just entering the workplace or new to the workplace. Some of our older sisters may even be familiar with these topics, and maybe you just need a refresher. Or you might have teen or adult children that you can share this information with. You can also share it with teen or adult other family members or friends. So we hope that this information will help enlighten you and give you some ideas about some things that you should be thinking about. So today, we're going to be talking about salary considerations, some things to think about with your salary. And as we've mentioned before, we want to encourage you to talk to your HR department about any of these tips to get specifics on how your employer handles these particular items. So Crystal is going to kick us off as we talk about our salaries.
Yeah, so the first thing that we wanted to touch base on, which is direct deposit. So I know we live in an instantaneous world, right? So we want our money and we want it now. So usually when you sign up for employment, they do give you the option of paying via or getting your salary via check or via direct deposit. So if you did not implement that option initially, there should be a employee portal available to you through your company where you can go in and actually update this information. And so when you're doing that, usually what will happen is that they'll tell you that you need to do it maybe a few weeks in advance before your next payment, your next issuance of your salary, just so that it's updated in the record keeping for your company before the payments are, issued, or what the back office does, the payments. So if you want to do direct deposit, I would definitely take into account your employee handbook and look into that, and also just go in and visit your self-employee portal and see what options are available for that. Because at this time, I think most companies should have the option of direct deposit, whether you're working, a minimum wage job, or if you're working for more of a, corporate established company, that still should be an option for you. So I would definitely encourage sisters to look into that as soon as possible, especially probably a few weeks prior to your next pay period. So just to look into that and make sure that you have that option will be good.
Yes. And it's such a safe and convenient way, like you talked about, and you get faster access to your funds and just start paying your bills right out of that checking account when that money goes in. So that is great.
Yeah, especially if you're budgeting, you're trying to make sure, because I know for me, I like to keep a record or a spreadsheet of my bills on a monthly basis. And I don't know what I would do without direct deposit, because I get paid on the 15th and 30th of every month. So, I couldn't imagine having to go into a bank and or take a paycheck physically to a bank at this time. But if that's an option, I definitely think that sisters should look into it. I know some people are accustomed to doing things a certain way, but I think it's just a better level of security for your money, a better level of instantaneous, getting it to you when you need it. So definitely look into that, and it should be an easy fix in most instances at your company. That's why they have those employee portals where you can see your pay stubs, which we'll get into a little later, and tax forms and things like that. So you should be able to adjust that on your end very easily. And then you would just need your checking account information, routing number, so that you can have that set up for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
For your next paycheck. Yeah.
Yes. So that was a checking account. Another great option is to have direct deposit part of your salary into a savings account. However often you get paid, if it's once a month or twice a month. And this is a way to automatically build up your savings. So, it prevents you from having to forget to put money aside for savings. That money is automatically going there. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about forgetting, and you are doing something good and you're building for your future. And so we all know that if we see some extra funds in our checking account, if you're not intentional with those funds and earmarking those funds for something, it is so easy. We all know to spend extra money we see in our account on something else, and we could have been saving. And then you'll look up and you'll say, wow, once you've been having that automatic deposit into a savings account, you'll look up after a few months and you built up something for your future. So you can even also create multiple savings accounts. This is really helpful for different purposes. So in other words, you could have an account named emergency fund, or an account named house. You want to save up for a house or a trip. You can use an online account, which they typically have higher interest rates than your regular brick and mortar banks. Or, a lot of banks are offering free checking as well. That's another option in your regular bank if you feel more comfortable going into a regular bank. But the key is put that money into a separate account so that you won't be tempted to dip into that money and use it for something else. So now we want to talk about taxes that are taken out of our paychecks. And so Crystal will kick us off with this discussion.
Yeah, so we know that federal and state taxes are automatically withdrawn in most cases from our pay checks. And if you're not familiar with your pay stub, I would encourage you to go in and actually just take a look at each of the line items, because you will actually see the amount that comes out in regards to federal and state taxes, as well as if your company is a participant in the pension plan, you'll see that line item on there as well. And then you would also see any type of medical expenses that you're paying for out of your paycheck as well. So I would encourage listeners to go in and actually look at the line items that are on their paycheck so that they can see what's getting allocated or withdrawn from federal taxes and state taxes, and any other line items. But federal taxes in most instances are paying towards, your roads, your municipal projects, a lot of health programs like Medicaid and Medicare, housing assistance. So if you're concerned about, what am I paying this money towards? What is the government doing with my money? In most instances, those are the programs and those are the initiatives that your funds are going towards. And vice versa, in the state perspective, is going towards local initiatives like recreational activities. A lot goes into the pre-K programs through high school for students. So we are actually aiding and assisting our younger generation. And then also any local government structural needs, assistance for local governments, the mayor, things of that matter. And economic development would be, things that the state taxes are contributed to. So as a citizen, those funds are should be being allocated accordingly. But yeah, so you will be able to see on your pay stub your gross income, and then you'll be able to see the tax deductions within the pay stub. So I would just encourage you to look at that. And as well, if you're not familiar with YouTube or the IRS site, I would encourage you to go on there as well, because you can actually go on there and see what you should be taking out in taxes, as opposed to, because Tasha and I spoke about this before, but it seems that, if you're single, you could be paying a lot more in taxes throughout the year than you should be. Or even, if you're married as well. But it's good to go on the IRS website and look at the withholding calculator, and then calculate actually, there's a sector that has a withholding calculator that you can calculate exactly what your tax rate should be, so that you're not giving too much money throughout the year, because that's actually money that you could be utilizing, with each month for your paycheck. So I would encourage you to do that, as well as YouTube. There's a plethora of videos on there about, learning about dependents and how to set up your W-4 and things of that matter. So there's a plethora of information out there. You just have to be very structured in how you decide to utilize it. That's all. But yes, so that's what I have for federal and state taxes. Did you have anything to add, Tasha?
Yeah, I did. Well, I just want to talk about another type of tax that's withheld from our salaries, and that's the payroll taxes, or FICA taxes. And FICA stands for Federal Insurance Contributions Act. And basically, these are the taxes that that are taken out for the federal government's insurance program for us. So as workers, so that includes Social Security and Medicare. So your employer would contribute towards these taxes as well. And so with Social Security, if you ever need Social Security, you would have paid into that insurance fund from years that you work, because that money is coming out of your check every time you get paid. And so Social Security provides benefits for the retired or disabled and their dependents. And then Medicare provides medical benefits for those that are age 65 or older, or certain disabled individuals that are younger and they have disabilities. So we just wanted to kind of give you an idea of where these taxes are coming, where this money is coming out of and what it's going towards. So we hope that that provides a lot of clarification. So next we want to talk about tuition or career licensing assistance.
Yeah, so I can speak to that. I know that my company actually offers, if individuals are seeking to get their MBA, or if they're seeking to get some type of certification for their career focus, a lot of times large corporations would offer a percentage of payment towards the MBA program. I believe for my company, it can get up to 80%, but it may be 80%. I will have to look into that for the MBA program. But I know for certifications, and for instance, for me, I would like to get my CFP, which is a chartered financial planner. And so it's a certification for financial planning, where you learn about insurance and you learn about all different aspects of estate planning. And so what they actually offer is that if you pay for the program, which is an 18-month program, in my instance, what they do is offer you a reimbursement for all of for basically everything for the program within itself, any of the supplies that you're paying for, which is your course book, calculator, all of those aspects, the company will actually reimburse you for that. So it's basically you're getting a free education, which is awesome. And then it's not the MBA program, but it is a certification for a specific focus. So if you're in healthcare or any other type of career focus, I would say look into that and see if there's any type of reimbursement program or a percentage that your company would give back for you pursuing a higher education. Because that's definitely something that I know that when we get older, sometimes we think that is not, that is not something that we can attain or do because of the pricing and because of the obligation. But I would definitely encourage you to kind of look at your resources through your company, because a lot of times we don't know that these things even exist. And talk to other people that are in your career path, because I've actually spoken to other people that surround me, because I work with trust advisors or people who other financial planners. I work for a wealth advisory firm. So a lot of people actually have went through it and they've gotten, their certification free of cost to them. And so, yeah, I definitely think that if you're looking to move around in your company or to kind of grow in your career and you want to kind of seek some outside education to kind of strengthen yourself as an employee, I think that you can definitely take advantage of any type of internal discounts that you may have because they're definitely out there.
Yes, yes. And as we've talked about budgeting recently, it ties in to this topic because, more licensing, more education, the more income you can potentially make. And so, that's a way to grow your income and, strengthen your budget if you're having trouble meeting your paying for your expenses month to month. So that's just another way to build your income.
Right.
So, Crystal, did you have any other thoughts? Anything else or?
No, I would just definitely say that I want sisters to know through this whole us going through these three sessions of just managing the workplace financially. I think that all the information that we provided, from 401k information, IRAs, how to get involved with that, from HSA programs and different types of methods for reimbursement to you as an employee. I really would say if you have to go back and look at these past sessions that we've spoken through, and just to gain some insight on what we spoke to, I definitely would encourage you to do that, and definitely look into what your company offers, because it's a lot of things and benefits out there that we don't even take the time to. I know that we're so focused on work every day. We get in, we want to do our job, we want to do it effectively, and then we want to leave. And we want to go on to our other, day-to-day tasks or whatever the case may be. But I would definitely encourage you to look into those resources because they're out there. Especially if you work for large corporations or anything of that matter, there definitely are perks and things that you can take advantage of to budget yourself accordingly for your life, and also just to even help yourself to get ahead, just with your income, with your career, just any of those things. So definitely take the time to look through the videos, definitely take the time to get the insight so that you can better, kind of form yourself to do what you need to do for your lifestyle and for your future and your family as well. So
Yes, well said. Thank you so much, Crystal. And thank you all for listening. And we will definitely look forward to seeing you next month. And thank you so much again for watching this series on financially managing the workplace. Thank you. And bye-bye, sisters.
bye.